Well, I'm here. I'm live. Hello, the 4 or 5 people that actually love me still. Um, yeah, I'm a little late today. I was doing a stupid when it came to the tech stuff. The tech producer, I should say, the producer. What the heck? Um, Going through all the steps with me and says, "Did you click start virtual camera?" Oops, I did not. Well, welcome to the Walter Bosley channel. And this week is identified as the NYMZACON review. But before we start that, I want you to see today's tiki. Look at this. This is Fing Fang Foom. Yes, folks, this is one of the fantastic tikis gifted to me by our friend Gil Bavell, who's up there watching us with a smile. Gil's up there right now with Forey Ackerman. So, maybe Forey Ackerman's watching the live stream. That would be cool. If you'll notice behind me, the NYMZACON graphic, of course, a work of art done by Charles Delshow. And this past weekend, folks, we had, today's beverage, by the way, is ice water. It's fitting because we're back in the Southern California heat. Last Tuesday, we departed for the north. The fascinating Tuolumne County, and we headed up to Sonora. Got there a couple of days before, a few days before the event started. Got set up. I want to start out by thanking Olaf Phillips and his fiancee Ursula for their tremendous generosity in really helping make this happen. We shifted the venue from a hotel conference room to Olaf's house, and it just worked out fantastic. And I want to thank Olaf again and Ursula for allowing us to invade their home on Saturday and stream this show out to you live streamers. So I want to thank them first. And I want to thank all of you who attended one way or another, either via live stream or actual attendees. We had us a really cool group of attendees. Raphael, Cody, Matt, and Mike. I want to thank all of you guys. And hold on a second here. Malia, I think I got them all right. Raphael, Cody, Matt, and Mike, correct? I don't think I'm leaving anyone out among the attendees. Let me know if I am, but I don't think I am. Let me see here. There we go. Just a great group of guys who came from all over to hang out with us in Sonora for just a fantastic weekend. And what I love about these kinds of things is that you do get to meet interesting people. Now, Raphael, of course, had come out here down this way, San Bernardino Valley, for an Empire of the Wheel tour. So I had met Raphael before, but it's just so cool to meet people who like what you do and they're familiar with what you do and what you've done. That's always a good feeling. And I enjoy meeting people who have read the books and or seen me somewhere but just a fantastic group of guys. And I want to thank you guys in particular for, making the commitment, flying out, staying at a hotel, to spend the weekend with, me and Malia and Olav and Dave Allen, a guy who just really, really delivered beyond expectation. So how did NYMZACON go specifically? Oh my gosh. And the live streamers, all of you who got the live stream tickets, my gosh, it was a lot of fun. And I want to thank you all for, you all stuck it out through, I think there was only a couple of people who had to duck out just because of schedules, right? And they're going to catch up and go back and view what they missed. But for the most part, folks, all of you watched every speaker. And that's great. What I like about that is it tells us that you liked what we presented. You like who we presented. You like what they had to share. Now, I don't know if I said it in the past, but Sesh Hari, unfortunately, was unable to be present on location because he got hit by a car a few weeks ago. Yes, he's going to be okay, but he had a couple of ribs cracked, broke a few bones in one foot, and he was just in no condition. But he was willing. He was very much willing to come down, and but schedules got in the way, tasks, and the schedule got real tight. So turned out we did his by phone. He's that much of a pro that he didn't let the circumstances stop him from participating. You got, if you recall, you got a Sesh Hari presentation, and it was a doozy. Sesh always has just an airship load, or a boatload of information that's just vital to this mystery. Yes, it's a hot day. So Sesh participated. You didn't miss out on him. And of course, we had Olav Phillips in the lineup. And Olav, I've known him for a few years now, since the 2015 Secret Space Program Conference in Bastrop, Texas, outside of Austin. And he and Dave Allen have a radio show, the Enigma Hour. You guys have to check it out. We'll get the link. We'll spread the link around. But if you look up the Enigma Hour with Olaf Phillips and Dave Allen, you should be able to find it. It is traditional radio, but also online. But please check it out. Malia and I were on the show with them Thursday night. Wednesday or Thursday. I think it was Thursday. And Malia did a little ghost hunting, because the building, you guys would not have believed this building. It's a dome, and the outside is square, and you see the dome up top, but the interior is round. The hallways, good Lord, the corridor is round and really dark in there. The building was built in 1909. Most of it is not used. We didn't get to see it ourselves, but it was described. Now, we were inside the building. I'm sorry. The part we didn't get to see was the innards and what's called the ballroom up top in the dome. We didn't get to see that because the building is closed off. It's not used. It's just a fun house for ghosts, I'm telling you. And they described it to us. And their description just makes me want to go see the inside even more. But Malia did get a chance to apply the devices, the Appy Droid and a couple other things, to the hallway. And we learned a lot about the haunted history of Sonora, California, on that show. And then we had a meet and greet. I'm trying to remember where we did that. I think Friday night we went to dinner at a Greek restaurant there in town, and then ended up at Flappy's Pizza. And it was pretty. We went to Yanni's Greek restaurant in Sonora, and then went to Flappy's Pizza, and enjoyed a couple of beers. And then the next day it was NYMZACON time. And as I said, Saturday, it felt like a long day, but it went really, really well. Everybody enjoyed the presentations. We all learned something. I learned so much about Sonora and Tuolumne County that I didn't know. That this past weekend was just of great, incredible value to, my personal research. And there's a lot of threads, a lot of vital threads that I'm going to continue to pull. And, you'll see that reflected in the work. But it was a really, really good day. And then I'm trying to remember, let me exit full screen here. Malia, where did we eat Saturday? Was that when we went to Embers? I believe it was, right? Yeah, we went to a restaurant in Sonora called Embers. And I'm naming all these places because I like to give shout outs to the places we, that we went to, and, give a little patronage, right? If that's the word I'm looking for. Now, remember, folks, I'm going to go to questions shortly. When I announce questions, then I'll be looking. I'm mostly not looking at the screen right now. I'm going back into full screen. And let's see. The next day, Sunday, we went on a tour, and the tour really gave me more in-depth insight into the lay of the land up there. Now, remember, when I did my research trips to Sonora, the first times were in 2013 and 2014. And I didn't know Dave. Come to think of it, I had not met Olav. I think he was still living in Martinez up at that time. He wasn't living in Sonora yet. He's since, in the last less than a year, I think this calendar year, moved to Sonora. And we went to places on the tour that I had not seen. Well, first, let's back up. Because this has to do with tour things. I have a way that I've gone up there from Southern California that I went both times. And there I was, mission focused. Yeah, Malia, here's the route we're going to take. And in true Malia fashion, she's looking on her maps and says, I want to try this other way. Of course, my initial reaction is, oh, but there's the way. And she goes, no, let's try this other way. So flexibility being the key to air power, as we say in the U.S. Air Force. I said, okay, I'll go with it. Let's go your way. And wow. We saw some things we're not going to talk about yet. I'm reminding Malia that we're not going to talk about a certain thing, But on the way in, we saw something that immediately, and she'll tell you this, I said to her, wow, I think that's the source of something very important that the Sonora Aero Club use. And then the next couple of days later, 2 or 3 days later, the general subject of the same thing came up with Olav, and he suggested the same thing. So after I finish with the rundown of the NYMZACON weekend, I'm going to share with you a hypothesis that that I and Olav and Malia all are in agreement with. But first, let me give a rundown. Let me go back now to Sunday, the tour day. I let Dave Allen take the lead on certain things about the tour day because he's just a mine, a gold mine of historical information on that area. Seriously. So among the sites we went to that I had not been to before was an area called Chinese Camp, which is pretty much a little abandoned town. When I say abandoned, the historical part, it's one block of abandoned buildings. Now, if you remember the Gary Cooper film High Noon, which many of you graybeards will, the church scene where they get married is in Chinese Camp. So you can see Chinese Camp in High Noon. And much of the rest of High Noon was shot in Oldtown, Columbia, which I'll get to because we went there a couple of times. So we go to Chinese Camp, and in the 1850s, this was a stagecoach stop. We even went to the Wells Fargo station office, which is still there. It's abandoned, of course. And I'll be posting more photos that I took. But that is the same stagecoach station that Charles Delshow would have come to on his way to Sonora. In fact, everybody going on the stagecoach to and from Sonora would have gone through this Chinese Camp Wells Fargo station. So that was kind of cool. Then we went to, a place, a site known as Montezuma. And from there, you see Table Mountain. Now, here's what's really interesting. Here's a big thing that I learned that day. You know that Sechery has done an extensive analysis of the Telluric currents, the ley line issue up in Tuolumne County. And if you recall, years ago, 2008, 2009, one of the maps he did for me, 2010 or 11 or so, maybe 12, somewhere around there, when I was working on the second book and looking into Frank Rosasco. You recall that he identified a mascon, an anomaly, telluric anomaly, of an intersection of several telluric current lines on one of the Rosasco ranch properties. At the time, I understood it to be the Rosasco, the 1850s main ranch property down on Old Don Pedro Road. And what I learned, and if you recall, Frank Rosasco, again, I'm going to say it, remember, he lost his mind in San Bernardino and spent the remaining 58 years of his life doing what? Doing astronomical observations, doing mathematical calculations, and surveying some spot on, I always thought it was, my understanding when I was told by a member of the Rosasco family, was on the family property. So for years, I've thought it was the site down on Don Pedro Road. But during the tour, thanks to Dave Allen's knowledge, I learned a little bit more. I learned that the Rosascos owned thousands of acres in 2 different locations. And one of those locations is adjacent right there. It's at the foot of one side of Table Mountain. Now, Malia, I'm getting that name right? Table Mountain? I'll wait for confirmation on that because I don't want to. Yeah, I'm going to call it Table Mountain. So, and at the time, thank you, Malia. At the time, the Rosasco family in the early 1900s, 1915 onward, they were their main residential ranch was the one by Table Mountain. So it looks like that I was wrong. Sechery's analysis was correct because that's done with geomorphology and topographical maps and on and so forth. But I may have been assuming that that's the site, the anomaly that Frank was obsessed with. I now think that Frank might have been obsessed with something to do with or on or at Table Mountain. So this is a whole new gigantic thread I'm going to be pulling in the Frank Rosasco mystery. And I'll tell you, it makes a lot of sense because this Table Mountain issue is bigger than I thought. Okay. And thank you, Dave Allen, for this information. So from that point, we went to another. What we were doing is we were going from these spots I'm telling you about. Chinese Camp has a marker, a state park marker. Montezuma has a state park marker. And then the third marker we went to is the site where it is said, is reported by Delshow, that Peter Menace, the leader of the Sonora Aero Club, launched his Aero Goosey in front of onlookers, a crowd of onlookers. We went to the actual spot. I'm going to be posting photos of that here today too, at the community tab. But the actual spot, folks, that's the first I had been there to any of the actual spots where it is described that aero activity occurred. And what's interesting is ECV, E. clampus vitus, was involved with that marker, where Peter Menace allegedly flew one of his arrows in front of a crowd of witnesses. This is exciting stuff, and again, I thank Olaf Phillips for bringing Dave Allen into the show because he did a presentation Saturday night. If you haven't viewed it yet, check it out. But boy, he was just invaluable on the tour, and I love learning new stuff. I really do. So then from there, we went to Jamestown, old Jamestown, and Malia got to do quite an extensive walkthrough of this old hotel, the National Hotel, I believe it's called. And oh boy, was it just a wonderful, like a museum piece, but a living hotel. People can go there and stay there. And if you went in there and didn't feel ghosts, you're just ignoring where you are. But Malia got to, I think she had her Appy droid with her. I can't remember. But she got to talk to some of the caretaking employees at the National Hotel in Jamestown. This is Jamestown in Tuolumne County for you people who just logged in. And they told her some interesting things about the ghosts at the National Hotel. It was it was a beautiful place. In fact, I'd like to stay there, a night if possible. So maybe when we go back up. But we had lunch in Jamestown, and then we headed over to Columbia, Oldtown, Columbia. And I will say that I think it was Saturday night. Yeah, I think it was Saturday night. We went to Oldtown, Columbia, and we did a little ghost hunting, walking around the old town at night. Malia, again, was picking up a lot of signals, picking up spooks and ghosties, communicating with it. And then we went to a cemetery, an old cemetery up by the old schoolhouse. The schoolhouse we didn't go into. It was creepy enough to be outside of it, but we walked up and walked around the old cemetery until it seemed we tripped an alarm, and so we skedaddled out of there and headed back. That was the night before the tour day. So when we went to Columbia on the tour day, we had kind of already walked around the night before, but we went down to, if you recall, in the video in 2014, the one with Sesh and I walking around Oldtown, Columbia, when we go down into the rocks, which are the rocks exposed by the hydro mining back in the 1800s, we went down in there. I got some photos, I think, on the community tab that I posted. And if not, I will post them if I haven't. And we had us some sarsaparilla. Olav, some of the sarsaparilla draft places, the places that serve it on draft, the saloons, they were closed, and there's some issue going on with the draft sarsaparilla anyway, something to do with licensing or merchandising or something. So Olav found it in glass bottles, which is the next best thing, and it was good. We all enjoyed us a cold sarsaparilla as our kind of final toast of the weekend, and it was really a success. People really enjoyed it, the folks attending, and I know I said I was going to do some video. We do have some video. We didn't share it live. It's just the way things were going. That would have been a complication. But we are going to share the bits of recorded footage that we got, and of course a lot more photos. And so then that evening we had dinner. Several of us had dinner. Oh boy, I'm trying to remember where we did that. Let me pop out of the big screen here. As you can tell, I think I'm still kind of tired from the trip. We just got back yesterday. So, but it was just, it was a really good weekend, and we are all in agreement that we want to do another one. So I'm informally telling you right now that yes, NYMZACON 2 is in the works. It's going to be, there's going to be even more, because Tuolumne County, Olav pointed it out, Dave pointed it out, Tuolumne County is what John Keel would call a Disneyland of the gods. There's so much going on there. I think it's like 5th in the nation for UFO sightings, 5th or 3rd, and then it's either 5th or 3rd for Bigfoot sightings. And it's one of the most haunted places on Earth. Seriously, it's incredible. So an event in which it'll be expanded upon. I don't want to go too far into it, but believe me, we're going to be doing another event next year. So there will be another NYMZACON next year. We'll be deciding exactly when, probably before the end of this year, because we're going to want to announce it and, give people plenty of time to plan, because it would be great to see more of you actually there. But hey, I want to see even more people, if you can't make it, live streaming it, and it'll be a lot of fun. I don't think you guys are going to want to miss this. So on the way back, Malia and I went through the beautiful Sonora Pass, and then we came down the Eastern Sierra Way. I don't want to say too much about that, because some things we did and some places we visited have sparked some definite writing projects. And me, I don't like to give too much away or say too much on writing projects in their early stages. So Malia will help keep that secret for me. But believe me, we saw some really interesting things on the drive back, and we're really, really inspired, both of us. And you're going to see the fruit of that trip soon. So anyway, there's that. Now, well, like I said, again, I want to thank all of you folks right now who are in the live streaming audience. Thank you. You guys really helped make this a great success, truly. And the group that was with us there, again, Raphael, Cody, Matt, and Mike. My gosh, you guys are all great guys. We definitely want to see you again at next year's, and maybe even more of you if we can give you, more lead time, which NYMZACON 2, you will get more lead time. So NYMZACON 2024, it'll happen. We're talking September or October. So when we finalize that date, you guys will be the first to know. But again, I thank all of you who participated, because you really helped make it happen, and you helped make it a success. And I thank Olav and Ursula again for their generosity in using their home, and just all the speakers. It was, believe me, you guys all made it a success. We're doing it again next year. Now, I would like to say here, going back to what I said about a hypothesis. And again, folks, this is the result of in-the-field research. You really, to get the good stuff, you've got to go somewhere, and you've got to see the lay of the land. You got to keep seeing new things. Now, each trip I've gone, I have seen something that I didn't see in the prior trip. In 2014, I saw more than I did in 2013. But this trip was the doozy. And on the drive in, well, before I get to that, I want to give you the context here. Behind me, you see the one of the artworks by Charles Delshow, one of the arrows. Okay. And in Charles Delshow's writings, who he is the source we have for the Sonora Aero Club, the primary source, he talks about the engine system, the propulsion system, the engine, whatever you want to call it, that Peter Menace, the leader of the Sonora Aero Club, applied to these machines called the Aeros, A-E-R-O. And if you go back and look at my video on the Bell, go here to the Walter Bosley channel, go to the videos list, Scroll down and you'll see Walter Bosley has issues with the Nazi bell. In that video, I reveal that Del Schau's schematic done sometime between 1890 and 1923, okay, he does a schematic of the exact engine system that he says Peter Menace had, used in the Arrows, okay, in the 1850s. Now, here's what's interesting. In that video that I just told you about, I show you the official schematic of the McCorn Racine turbine. Now, this turbine design system was published around 1849, 1850. And it is clear, I do a side-by-side where you see Del Schau's schematic and you see the Racine turbine schematic, published a few years before Del Schau says Peter Menace was using that turbine system, that process, that system in the Arrows. And folks, they're virtually identical. You go there and you look, all the elements are there. What's interesting is you see a different placement of one thing, I think. And it makes you wonder, did Peter Menace shift the placement of certain parts of that turbine system to work for flight, to work for what he needed them to do? Now, here's the thing that I think, discovered this last weekend. As we drove in, the route that we chose to go, I had not gone before. This was because of Malia saying, let's go this other way. She gets these intuitive, ideas, and we follow them because they're always fruitful. There's this road that's cut, and you're doing a lot of switchbacks, and it's cut out of the side of a mountain, and there is tons of this green stone called Mariposite, okay, named after the local community of Mariposa there. Mariposite, green, rich green. And I thought immediately, I said, my gosh, Malia, this stuff is so readily available right here in Tuolumne County. I wonder if that is the ingredient in Peter Menace's fuel that he called the soup. Now, Del Schau describes the soup as being green. Now, a couple of years ago, I proposed to Joseph Farrell that perhaps the soup was some type of liquefied emerald. He thought that was intriguing, but he still thought, well, it might be something else, but you're on to something. So then, as we're driving down this road, I say to Malia, I've got it. It's not liquefied emerald, because emeralds aren't everywhere on Earth. But this Mariposite is right here in just tremendous abundance in Tuolumne County. So I thought, well, that's got to be it. Mariposite. Anyway, we get into town. I'm talking with Olaf, a couple days later, we're talking about Mariposite, and he says, Walter, I think that Mariposite could be the source of the green element of the soup. And I lit up. I'm like, that's exactly what I told Malia on the drive in. So henceforth, Malia and Olav and myself, we propose that the secret to Peter Menace's soup is Mariposite. Malia can describe its properties better to you, in the live chat. But we think what they would have done was mine the Mariposite, pulverize it, powderize it. And then what was the other element that Del Schau said Peter Menace added to it? Lots of water. Well, what happens when you add lots of water to a powder, right? You're going to liquefy that powder. Voila. I think the soup was powdered Mariposite with the water added. And that liquefied Mariposite was the soup that Peter Menace used in the Racine turbine that he had adapted. So this is big, folks. I think this is a hypothesis, but I think what we've done is we three, Olav, Malia, and myself, I think we've cracked the mystery on Peter Menace's soup, liquefied mariposite, and we're following up on this to see if it holds up, see if it holds water, which I think it will. So that was a really big discovery over the weekend. And also the idea that Frank, oh, by the way, remember, those of you who've heard me talk about this, you say, yes, it's ad nauseum. You emphasize it. But folks, I can't emphasize enough. Think about your own lives. Imagine every single day, not just Monday through Friday during work hours, every day, you occupying yourself with the same three obsessive, I would say, tasks. Looking at the stars every night, running mathematical calculations, surveying something on, or maybe it was near, adjacent to the family ranch, and now I say at Table Mountain. Imagine, folks, every single day, 365 days a year, for 58 years. 58 years of that. You guys know that I'm fascinated with the mystery of Frank Rosasco, but now the other big thing, besides from I think cracking the mystery on the soup, identifying the ingredients of the soup, the fuel for the arrows. I think this idea that maybe Frank had spent those 58 years in his obsessive activity on the family ranch next to Table Mountain. So that's opened up a whole door of follow-up that I have to do, because I think it's going to be very fruitful. We might be able to identify a portal or something. Let's rephrase that. We might be able to identify what Frank Rosasco believed was a portal right there at Table Mountain, at least within view of the Rosasco family property there. So, folks, just the biggest, best time that I've spent in Tuolumne County of all three trips. And it was, wow, it was just an essential trip. And, again, what really made it was the people who were there, and what we talked about and what they brought to the table. So, NYMZACON, hey, it will happen again, folks. Yes, we are working with Olav and company to make it happen again next year. So don't miss out. If you missed this year, don't miss next year. There you have it. So, let me think. There was something else I wanted to uncover. So, Malia, I can't remember. There was something else I was going to discuss. Oh, let me jump off NYMZACON for a minute onto something else that's weird. You're going to want to check out the new trailer released 2 weeks ago, I should say, for True Detective Season 4. Watch it all the way through. You're going to see two elements very familiar. No, let me rephrase this. You're going to see three things very familiar to Season 1 fans. You're not going to want to overlook. So go check it out. I think you'll find it real interesting. Todd Wood told me about it and how cool it is. So it was exciting. And we'll let you decide for yourselves. We got to wait till January 14th. Those of you who bought the NYMZA book, I think Malia's been filling you guys in the live stream. A lot of the orders have shipped. I got the email that they shipped today, and then she's working through the rest of them. And so those of you who did the pre-orders, remember, pre-ordering, you saved $5 off the cover price. And, you know, you got those in, and we really appreciate the turnout for that. A lot of you got the pre-orders, and thank you, thank you, thank you. The link is available now to buy the book at Lulu. The full cover price is $25, but you can go now. For those of you who wanted to wait, for those of you who weren't aware of the book, go to lulu.com, and I shared the link at the community tab here at the Walter Bosley channel on YouTube, and you can go ahead and order your copy. So NYMZA, How America Sold Its Soul, available now, and go check it out at lulu.com. Again, the link, the link. Well, I'm not sure about that, Malia. I'll have to see the number if that's I think that's how it worked out. So okay, so there's that. Oh, let me think. There is something else. Gosh darn it. Oh, yes. Yes. For those of you interested in Seshari's fiction, and you should be, because his fiction, like mine, okay, involves his nonfiction research. I'm telling you, I'm going to get more of you interested in the fiction put out here. Don't blow off fiction, because a nonfiction author who writes fiction is putting the things in the fiction that he doesn't feel he can get away with in the nonfiction book. And I mean that in a good, positive way. Okay, you guys, I've told you about my time travel novel and why the stuff that's in that time travel novel is in there. It's not all just a bunch of fantasy. So folks that turn their back on the fiction, you're just depriving yourselves. Okay, don't if you like what I do, if you find what I do in the nonfiction research and books interesting and worthwhile, don't ignore my fiction. Now my pulps, yeah, they're more for, you know, just writing pulps and stuff, but even that is informed. You know, my career stuff shows up in my pulps, and, you know, my interests in the supernatural and the paranormal show up in my pulps, of course. But in things like what I call my literary fiction, my time travel novel, and things like that, don't ignore that stuff, because there's more of my nonfiction research in there than you may realize. And the same goes for Seshari. In fact, he purposely frames things in fiction for a reason. And Wonder of the Worlds was the first of his works that I published. And it was one of the first 5 titles from my company, Lost Continent Library. One of the first 5. Okay. We released it in 2006. Okay. Well, I'm happy to announce that we are ready to release the hardcover. All that remains, we got through the galley process. Sesh is pleased. He has approved the textual interior, and now All I'm doing is putting the finishing touches on the cover art, and we will get that loaded. And as soon as the link is live, you will be able to purchase the first hardcover title from my label in 21 years, over 21 years now of business as a publisher. This is the first hardcover release under my brand. I'm very excited about that. It is a landmark. Now, I've done personal test copy of one of my books, the Burton book, because I wanted to see the quality of the hardcover that Lulu does. And I'm telling you, I'm very pleased. My hardcover Burton book volume is it's wonderful. I love it. It's good quality product. So now we're going to release a hardcover on the market, the first hardcover release from Lost Continent Library, Secheree's Wonder of the Worlds, the first book in the Wonder of the Worlds trilogy. And again, this will make a great addition to your library if you're a bibliophile sitting up there on the shelves. If you're a fan of Secheree and are fascinated with his ideas and you want to learn more about what he thinks, in this particular case, Tesla and Mars, you're going to want to get your hands on Wonder of the Worlds, and you'll be able to get this fantastic hardcover edition this holiday season. So that's the exciting publishing announcement I had for today. But anyway, my gosh, I've been blabbing for 52 minutes, and now it's time to go to the live chat. And hey, there's Michael Dark. Welcome. Okay, so folks, Todd Woods here. I put on the glasses today. I know I'm usually only supposed to wear these in California, but I decided to wear them today. Oops, I keep hitting the cord on my headphones. So, folks, if you have any questions, put them in all caps, and I will answer your questions. All caps, though, if you want me to comment or answer the question. Oh, I'm almost out of water. Again, if you're wondering, this is the Fin Fang Foam. This is a premium tiki that our friend Gil Bavell gifted me last year. Look at that. It's like a clay. I love this thing. Is Ari still here? I saw him in there earlier. Hey, Todd Wood Boopy. Yeah. Let's see. Let me put this up on the... Michael Dark, who was there with us, asks, what was your favorite new thing you learned this weekend in Sonora? Oh, boy. It was the stuff I talked about, learning about the Mariposite, but also learning about the Rosasco property right next to Table Mountain, and just but if, as you witnessed, Mike, Dave Allen was just a gold mine of new things that I was learning. So it was fantastic. Oh, hey, Ari, how you doing? Thought I saw you in there. So yeah, Mike, it was those were two among the new things, and I look forward to hopefully seeing all you guys again next year if you can make it. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Kenneth Johnson. Walter, how many people attended person stream? Well, several people streamed it. I don't want to sit here and that number's beyond my count, but we had like we limited the attendees because we decided to go with a mostly streamed event for this first one. So there were just a few people who attended. Are you writing a book, Kenneth? D. Dorothy asked, is Sesh not well? Oh, no, he's fine. He's fine. He's going to be fine. He was hit by a car a few weeks back in a parking lot of a grocery store, I think. But he's going to be okay. But I'm telling you, you guys, I really, this hardcover Wonder of the Worlds, my own copy, I really should drive up there where he lives and get him to sign it for me. I think I should. I need to go visit him. I was looking forward to seeing him this weekend, but the schedule just did not permit. So I need to get up there because we have things we only talk about in person. We will not talk about over the phone. Kenneth Johnson is not writing a book. Kenneth, the numbers were big enough that doing it again next year is a no-brainer. Yeah. So. Hey, Ari says his film screens tonight. Yeah. All right. Cool. Very cool. Trying to think, being a foodie. Let's see. The Embers place was good. I had the chopped steak salad, and it was very good. It was very good. And a couple of the guys got the tomahawk steak, and those things were huge. We went to a Mexican place that Olav recommended, a taco place that was just outstanding, El Rey tacos in Sonora. Just, I recommend them highly. We went there a couple of times. And let's see, the place we went to the last night, which I can't remember what it was, but I liked what I had. It was good. D. Dorothy is asking, what is Ari's film about? Ari, tell us. Philip Blair says, that's really cool. Arbeville, is there an online watch party somewhere? Well, yeah, what is it about? Diamondback Grill is where we went Sunday night. Yeah. It was pretty good too. Michael Dark says snake bite. Close. Diamondback Grill. You can get a snake bite from a Diamondback. I was hoping for some more sarsaparilla, but apparently there's a sarsaparilla shortage in Sonora. That's wow, that's depressing. Now, folks, going to start seeing some more model kit building. Remember, I got all this cool stuff from Nick N. And I've got to get back into the model kits. Won't be, oh, for crying out loud, box, slide away from me, little bastard. Remember, I got to finish this one. So. Do we know what Ari's film is about? Oh, here we go. The film is called The Devil Comes to Kansas City, and it's kind of like one of those Liam Neeson, I will find you and I will end you kind of deals. It will be on Tubi. Ari, excellent. Tell us about your involvement in this film. By the way, coming up, I'm going to be talking about the film by Melissa Tittle titled Code 12. Now, I am in this film. It's this interesting adventure documentary that she has produced, and she's featured in it herself. And I have a part in it. Watch the trailer, Code 12. You'll see me in the trailer. Soon, I'm going to have Melissa Tittle back on to talk about Code 12. I'm going to also get some of the people that appear in the film and, to discuss this interesting theory that Melissa puts forth in the film. Ari plays the dentist, a bad guy. Great death scene, lots of gunplay. Oh, yeah. Okay, Ari, this is cool. Can't wait to see this. Folks, it's The Devil Comes to Kansas City, featuring Ari Bevell, our friend here at the Walter Bosley channel. Very good, Ari. That's cool. That is cool. So, okay. No other questions. We have already started considering a particular venue for NYMZACON for next year. NYMZACON 2, NYMZACON 2024. And I'm going to be working on the lineup of speakers soon. And as soon as we get a date pinpointed and speakers lined up, Ari, when there's a trailer link available, please let me know and we will share it here. D. Dorothy says she's not familiar with Tubi. Look on whatever your streaming service is, or look it up online. And Tubi's great. There's commercials, I think, right, on a lot of this stuff, but it's worth it. I find movies that you just can't find on the other big streaming channels that I don't mind. I'd rather see them with ads than not be able to see them at all. So yeah, we had Joseph Farrell too. My gosh, what am I thinking? Actually, I didn't list all the speakers. We had Sesh, we had Olav, we had myself, we had Joseph Farrell, Alan Greenfield, and Dave Allen. were the speakers this year. And all of the presentations were just fantastic. And mine was okay. But, yeah. So I'm just looking at the comments in the. Mike asks, are you planning to keep the next con at 12? Well, yeah, we're going to keep it in Sonora. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure we're talking about right there in Sonora. I don't want to say the venue we're thinking of for the NYMZACON speakers because, I don't want to jinx getting the location. Oh, D. Dorothy says, some things are not available in Canada anymore. Yeah, right now it's kind of that way in California. Well, at least as long as the stupid people are running the state. So. Now, don't forget, the first Wednesday in November, Todd Wood's going to be back for an episode of California. And this one involves The Exorcist 3 Legion, the film, the book, and some of the real things associated with it. And I'm waiting for final confirmation, but I'm thinking next week. I got a yes from Nick Redfern for this month. And hopefully a week from today, Nick Redfern will be the guest here at the Walter Bosley channel, talking about final events, the Collins Elite. So, that's something I've wanted to discuss for a long time here. And Nick is someone I've wanted to have on for a while. So, hopefully next Wednesday. If that doesn't work in his schedule, then what I'll do is a special live with Nick that you guys can be in the live stream on. So there's that. I'm working to get another guest on associated with that book. And he says it looks like next year he'll be able to do that. So, okay. Well, let's see. An hour and 8 minutes. You guys know I like to go 90 minutes, so I'll hang out here a little bit longer. And again, there's going to be more, like I said, more model building stuff. Now that we're not going to be traveling for a while, we've just been having to do all sorts of cool trips. So, that kind of gets you away from. Ari is trying to post the trailer link. Actually, just post it right here in the live stream, and then we'll get it to share. I will be working on some fiction in the coming year. I have some big writing projects that I really, really want to get out over the next 10 years. But I have some little fiction projects as well. that I enjoy writing. And so I'll be getting to those here pretty soon. Mike, who are you asking? Someone's missing a jacket. Michael Dark's asking. D. Dorothy asks to see a sample of the mariposite. I think Malia has a sample of it, as a matter of fact. W.C. Ray asks, will there be a way to download the first event before or after the videos are removed? No, there will not be. If you bought the streaming ticket, you're able to watch the show for, I think, another 9 days, and then that's it. That's it, folks. For the moment, for the time being. That's the extent. Oh, hey, Cody. Cody's here too. So that's the dude to which Michael Dark was referring. So I'm just a bunch of, I'm telling you, a group of some of the nicest guys you'd ever meet. Interesting guys. Just that. And by the way, Michael, that was a really cool book that you gifted us. I was taking a glance through that, and there's some cool stuff in there, to be sure. Sure, Cody. Absolutely. Thank you for helping make it so. Seriously, attendees, just bring to any event their own element, and that adds to the mix. It really is an essential part of the recipe. But I'll tell you, I love being able to offer such an event on the streaming too, because I'm so glad that so many of you, were able to share in a big major part of this event by being able to stream it. If you can't make it there, streaming's the next best thing. And yes, we're going to plan ahead for this specific part, so that next year we will be live streaming more than just the presentations. Okay, next year is going to be NYMZACON 2, and it's going to be bigger and better than this year. This year was the proof of concept. It showed to us that you guys are really genuinely interested in an event like this, about this stuff. So yeah, it turned out very well. So my dogs are sleeping. They're just snoozing away. They were glad for me to get home. W.C. Ray, to expand on the answer to the question, we are exploring how to make this year's show available. We just haven't decided on the final details. For now, the only way you can see the presentations are if you had bought a streaming ticket and you have the remainder of the days to view the presentations at the link that you would have access to if you have a ticket. D. Dorothy asks what kind of dogs I have. I have a Patterdale Terrier, and I have a mini pin, a miniature pincher, and that's Tiki, of course. Chili, she's down there. Chili's still kind of upset that I didn't bring her a tomahawk steak. But hey, you can't always get what you want. Oh, by the way, next week, I'll be recording an episode for Forum Borealis. I will be on with Al at Forum Borealis sometime after that. So I'll keep you posted. I haven't been on with Al in a little while. So he says it's time to have me back on. So I'm looking forward to it. Todd Wood's really looking forward to the next California. So am I. It's going to be real fun, real eerie, and good scary fun there, I think. So, okay, folks. Well, people aren't going to want to sit here and watch me be silent. So, I think this is where I'm going to wrap this up. I want to thank again all of you who live streamed the show. If you had a ticket, you're supposed to have 9 more days. And to view it. You see, folks, we want these shows to be special, okay? And if we just go uploading it here at the channel, then you know, people say, well, why attend it? Why view it? They're just going to put it all up here at the channel. And that's we're trying to offer something beyond what we offer at the channel here. So that's why we're not planning on just broadcasting these things, putting them online for the whole world to see, like it's just another episode of the Walter Bosley channel. So we appreciate those of you who respect that choice and are willing to be a streaming attendee. So thank you, Sunny Sund. And Thank you all. D. Dorothy says, appreciate it. We'll be reviewing the NYMZACON. Good, good. Let us know what you think. So, okay, folks, that's it. Thank you all in the live stream. Thank you again, everybody who helped make NYMZACON a success. It will happen again next year. And I hope to keep in touch with all the folks that, the guys that were there, through the coming year. And all of you, of course, I'm here every week. And next week should be Nick Redfern. Looking forward to that. So you guys all have a good night, and I will see you next time here at the Walter Bosley channel.